Alright. Hello everyone. My name is Kushal Casey. Once again, I'm here with another video, and one of the reason I'm making this video is because yesterday I was supposed to attend this webinar and then talk about my experiences to this new international students, but there was some confusion and I missed it. So this is my way of apologizing as well as giving some information to those students and sharing some of my experiences. And basically in this video I want to talk more about cultural differences in US versus Asian countries, like going to school in US as well as going to school in Asia. There's going to be some vast differences and some changes that we did not expect. Plus living in US compared to living in Asia gonna be completely different. So I wanted to talk about three of the major factors. The first one foremost, like the most of us, is food. We come from Asia, like any country in Asia, and then come to US. Food is like completely different. It's kind of blend. I don't know how can I say this, but then USA is kind of like a melting pot of all the cultures, right? You might get the food you like, but there is also possibility you might not get any food you like for at least couple months, some people maybe even a semester. Problem with that is we all have kind of different taste, and then we were thinking of, okay, this is how the food's supposed to be, and this is how we ate in our home countries, and coming to US it's gonna be completely different, right? And sometimes people say oh no, I'm completely used to it, eating pizzas, burgers back in my home country. I mean, I was too, I liked KFC in Nepal, I liked Pizza Hut in Nepal, but that did not help me a lot. It's completely different. Even the same franchise is completely different here. So food is one part that's kind of like a surprise for lots of international students even in US. So be prepared for that. Don't expect that you're gonna like every food. It's also not gonna be you're not gonna like any food. You will like some food, and sometimes it might take some time, since being from Nepal, and then most of those Asian countries, we are used to eating rice and then lots of spicy food and then some tanginess. That's not like that here. But yeah, there are lots of restaurants you can go into, as well as you can try some other cultural food. Mexican food is for me, it is very close to our kind of food back in Nepal, because they eat rice, we eat rice. So I'm a rice person. So yeah, that was quite interesting experience for me. And hopefully all of you coming to St. Cloud State or coming to anywhere in US will be prepared to explore a little bit more in terms of food, rather than just what you have had in your country. And second I want to talk about here is language and people. Why I want to say language and people is language in our country, of course, in the US we all speak English, right? So yeah, we speak different languages. What's the problem? But then there is a thing, in our country, even in our language, when we speak, there is a different tone on how we speak to elders. Even different words, some of the words, for elder brother in Nepalese people we use dai, and then for younger brother we use vai, right? And same thing with Korean people, they're using hyong, and then oppa. It's like a different level. But in US, in English language, I don't want to say in the US, it's all brother, and then it's all, you just call them by name. There is no separate word that's there to describe older person, or separate word that's there to describe younger person. So for me it was quite interesting, because talking in my language, always we have this different tone when we are talking to the elders. Elder people, we have different words, and then talking to younger people we have different words. Talking to our age group we have different words. So in English it's all same. You are talking with your friends the same way you are talking with your professor, and you are talking with your younger brothers or some junior students or junior friends the same way you are talking with your colleague or someone at work who is 50-60 years old. So that concept was a little bit different for me as an international student. So it was kind of it took me some time to getting used to with it. So I'm okay now. Point is, I'm okay now, and then I just wanted to let you guys know that's completely something that is new to me. And in terms of people too, in Asian countries we don't have this habit of like talking to strangers. Like if we go around outside, or like if we are walking around malls, let's say, like there's no like any like a formation or like a way of like talking to strangers or smiling at them. But in US, like we talk with strangers. You are at the bus stop, you are just smiling at someone, they smile you back. We just say hello to someone, they say hello back. Like that was really fun actually. I don't know why we don't do that in our countries. Like when I first got here, like I was in bus stop and someone smiled at me, I didn't smile back, and I'm like, why this person is smiling at me? This is like so weird. Like, and then that person smiled at me. I'm like, okay, am I supposed to smile back? I looked around, like I thinking that maybe it's not for me, maybe it's for someone else. But that was not the case. It was actually for me, and then I didn't smile back. I'm like, okay, we never did that that's weird. And then after I go to college and people are just saying hello to you, and then people are just saying hi to you. Also, like they're complimenting your clothes. That was like, wow, poof. That was new to me. Like you wear some nice shoes. Some strangers, dude, I like your shoes. That was quite strange to me, like. So that was fun part of US culture is like anyone is talking to anyone. That's really fun. Like I like talking to people, and it's really easy to make conversation here. Like you just say hello and they will say hello back. Just talk, like there is nothing is needed. And while same thing in most of the Asian countries would be like pretty weird. Like if you go say some hello to random dude, or like you say some weird, random person on the way, okay, your t-shirt looks really nice, they're gonna look at you in different way. So that was like pretty interesting as well as pretty fun for me. And third one I want to talk about here is classroom culture. Like so I talked about food a little bit. Food is something we can make on your own, right? You can cook at your home, like, and language and people is something you will learn eventually as well too, right? That's not a big deal. Classroom culture is something, it's kind of weird again, like when you very first get here. So in our schools, in our home countries, right, we are not allowed to eat in a school. I mean, eat in a class, right, when there is teacher present. But here, if professor allows, you can eat. Someone is like a professor might be teaching some of the chemistry or physics or whatever, and you want to have your PB&J sandwich, and you can just take it out and eat. No one gonna say anything to you. No one's gonna judge. And then like like in most of the Asian countries, when professor enters, then we all stand up. We all greet the teacher. That does not happen here. I'm like, okay, that was kind of interesting to me. Like, oh wow, like we all sitting here, like some of the students doing on their phones, some of them they are eating, some of them watching some videos in their laptop. Professor is entering, and then like he's like starting to teaching. Nobody is like giving any attention, at least until like a professor talks or says something. So that was like interesting and a little different for me. So also another thing with the same thing with the language. So in our country, we greet professor, we talk with professor with the word like a sir or teacher or like something like that. And then even there is some respective words that added in some language at the front, some language at the end. So we don't just call them as a professor. Like we have some respective words, and then our tone, our way of speaking to professor is completely different. But here, if your professor wants you to call him by his first name, you call him by his first name. So like that was so we have I had some professors, they wanted us to call him by his first name. And every time I go there and try to talk with him, like it felt really different for me, like calling someone who is like professor, like we had like a different level of respect. And calling my first name is like, okay, like how can I adjust to that? And I went to the first semester, I went to my professor, actually told him like, it feels really different for me to call you by your first name, can I just call you professor? And he laughed and he said just okay. So that was kind of different experience for me, like in terms of talking with professor, making this communication. So I usually don't call them professor. Even till now, I'm still not comfortable. It's been 8 years in US. I still don't call my professor by their first name. Like either I say like if they are PhDs, like a doctor and their last name. If they are like only professor and last name, Mr. and last name. I'm still not comfortable using just first name basis to like talking with a friend. But then recently I'm doing one of the senior design project with one of my professor, and somehow I'm feeling little okay to talk with him in the first name basis. Like it's like in 8 years he's the only professor I think I'm calling by the first name basis. Same thing with all the faculties, like they want you to be really nice, close to them as a friend. Does not have to be, like he's a faculty, you are a student. There does not have to be this big gap, like. And that's the good thing about like US culture. I love it. Like everyone can be your friend. That's in Nepal. I don't think 20-year-old can be friends with 60-year-old. There is like this huge age gap, plus the 60-year-old people not even gonna consider 20-year-old as a friend. But first time when I did my internship, like one of my senior colleague, he introduced me to her daughter as a friend. That was in 5-6 years ago, like 2015. So that was in 2015, and I feel really good. I'm like, wow, that's really nice. Like, so that's completely different than our Asian countries. So these are the 3 things that I feel like you guys can look into more, or if you want to know more about any of the things, you can let us know too. My friend Roshan, Adhikari here, and me are making this kind of videos quite a lot these days in terms of informating international students and helping international students with their process of coming to US, learning about US culture. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of things that's gonna be new for lots of international students. There's gonna be pretty shocking things, some of them, like when you come here, in terms of talking about cultural differences, like festivals, like is another big deal. So when you come here, you might miss your home country's festival, you might get that homesickness. And then it's always good to be sharing your cultural background with other students, talking with them, share your problems, share your thoughts, and share your culture. And then that will also kind of help you reduce your stress of being alone in this foreign land. So there's going to be a lot of you. It's not going to be only you as international students. We all came here as international students, and yeah, it's pretty challenging, it's pretty new, and it's pretty adventurous, and you're going to learn a lot of things. But it's always good to have like a group of friends with whom you can share your things, with whom you can be open about your cultures, with whom you can talk about lots of things. Also, every campus has like lots of advisors. Our school, St. Clair State, also has like lots of advisors. We have departments like Multicultural Student Services, Center for International Studies. If there is a time that you feel like alone, or maybe you depressed and you are missing your family, you are missing your food, please don't keep it that to yourself. That's really not healthy. It's not going to be only you. As I said many times, there's going to be a lot of students that's going to be feeling the same way. So talk with others, talk with people like me. I mean, there are lots of students who are helping other international students. That's not. Once you get to US, every school have their own set of these student workers helping other international students. So talk with them, get out of your comfort zone, be ready to explore in terms of culture, in terms of food, in terms of festival, in terms of talking with people, like communicating. There is a lot to learn. Even if I made this video, it's like fraction of the things you can explore. It's nothing. It's just I wanted to say hi to you guys. It's something like this. But yeah, hope you guys are excited to come to US, learn different culture, get your degree in American university. That's dream for a lot of students around the world. And in this journey, don't be alone. So we have lots of resources that can help. And that's all I want to say. If there is anything more you guys want me to talk about, please let us know in comment. And please check out our other videos too. There is I made about some of the international student experience. Those are kind of longer, so I want to keep this video short and simple, since this is my apologies to the students that I missed yesterday in the webinar. So I hope you guys are watching too, and I hope this video helps to many more other students those are planning to come to US.